Good morning. It's Thursday, the 25th of fifth. How'd you say that? 25th. Not Good morning. Oh dear. I've got nothing to wipe, but it's all right. I've got a sleeve. Good morning. It's Thursday, the 25th of January, 2018. Welcome to another exciting, interesting United Kingdom talk, boys and girls. I am going in competition. I'm in competition this morning and every morning with Matthew Wright and Jeremy Carl oh, it won't stay up. Oh dear. Just a moment. Oh no, this won't stay up this morning. Hang on a minute. Let's try that like that. I've got to get a spanner to the other end. Not a spanner, you know, one of those clamp things. Would you do it? So I can turn the screw and hold the other end because the whole thing's turning around. Might be time for a new one of these, dear. Oh, it's never-ending expense, isn't it? Anyway, I must say, before we start this morning, a big congratulations to great nephew George, who is 5 years old and is now managing to swim across the entire width of the swimming pool where he lives up in Woodhall Spa, unaided by the use of what are they called? Airband things on his arm. There's no rubber ring. He hasn't got one of those long bendy things that you hold on to. No, completely unaided. Off his own back. Congratulations. Can you all please make a round of applause for nephew Great George, who can now swim across the entire length of a swimming pool. Well done, my dear. Well done. Great Uncle Chris is very, very impressed with you. So there we are. Just a little bit of advice for you, boys and girls. Those of you that have overnight oats in the morning. Anyone have those? Overnight oats. That's, you get a jar, then you put yogurt in. If you're on Slimming World, fat-free yogurt, okay? Some sort of fruit. I use blueberries. And then porridge oats, and then you layer this, you see, and you do that 2 or 3. If you're careful, you do it 3 times. I only do it twice, you know. So yogurt, blueberries, porridge oats, yogurt, blueberries, porridge oats, and a little bit of yogurt on the top, you know, to just make it nice on the top there. A little bit of advice there. I always use blueberries that you have to go down the shop and buy every few days. A couple of weeks ago, I bought some frozen blueberries, which were, I think, probably about half the price of the normal ones. Anyway, so last Monday, you can only do sort of, when I say overnight oats, you know, you're supposed to do it the night before. I sometimes do 3 or 4. Okay, if you're using fresh blueberries, you can't go more than 4 days in advance because blueberries go very quickly, don't they? Oh, you've got to be so careful. I went in at Aldi just before Christmas it was, and every single packet of the blueberries had some frozen ones in it. Had some mouldy ones in it. Oh, and don't they taste rank when they're mouldy? They taste like bleach. Oh, vile. Anyway, so you can only do about 4 days in advance. Well, I bought some frozen ones and I thought I'd try those this week. So Monday, I think it was Monday morning or Sunday night, I was making my jars and with the fresh blueberries, and then I ran out. I thought, ideal opportunity to get my new frozen blueberries out of the fridge. So I made one, which was for today's, with the frozen blueberries. Now, I didn't thaw them out. I guessed that after 3 days, they would thaw out in the fridge where I store all these things. You know, keep them. You make the things, and then you put them all in the fridge, and that's all well and good. This morning, I got round to having the ones with the frozen blueberries. So I sat down, went downstairs as usual, around about 8:50. I usually get up about 8:15. I do set the alarm. I set the alarm. My alarm in the bedroom is a television. It's got a timer, it's got an alarm thing on it, and it just comes on like you turn a normal telly on. So I generally wake up to BBC News 24. I wake up to that. I put my dressing gown on. I do the same thing every morning, actually. This is my morning, right? So I wake up to the alarm. I watch just a few minutes of that. And then sometimes you're more awake than others, aren't you? It's true, isn't it? Sometimes, I don't want to get up this morning. And other times, the bing, You burst into life like something that's suddenly been switched on. This morning was a switched on day. I heard the noise and went bing like that, which is very scary if you was to be laying next to me. It's been a long time since people were being laying next to me, but I might have the answer to that shortly. I'm obviously going to the wrong hotel. I'll come to that in a moment, boys and girls. I'll come to that in a moment. So, bing, open up like that, and I literally go and I throw my covers off like that to the end of the bed, because I like to leave the covers off the end of the bed once I've got up, as to allow air to get to the bed and get rid of the stench that may have emanating from me through the entire night. The stench of my body and unwanted air that has left at both ends throughout the course of the night while I was asleep. So I put on my dressing gown, wandered downstairs. First thing I do, kettle goes on. Kettle on, teapot emptied from last night's tea bags. Quick rinse out, put the next, not tea bags, tea leaves, put the next lot of tea leaves in, standing by for kettle. Then I make up my special drink. I've got like a powder drink that I have, anti-constipation drink, which actually I don't think I need anymore, but I'll carry on taking it. That's doing very well. You remember that constipation problem I had for several years? It seems to have stopped. God, I mean, it's true. As you get older, stuff takes longer and longer to sort itself out, doesn't it? You remember the issue with my feet? That went on for 2 years. And there was something else. Oh, the lump in the throat. Remember the lump in the throat? 6 to 9 months, that was. I had a lump there. And they couldn't find anything wrong. Cameras up the nose, ultrascanned, everything. Nothing wrong. Can't find out what it is. Just went 9 months later. Well, the longest thing has been the constipation thing, where you sit there, nothing's happening. Now, you want to go, nothing's happening. So I went on this powder, and I've been on it for some time now. I think that's cured the problem. I think that's it. And I don't suddenly, I had an IBS issue as well, where I'd be sitting in the car, and suddenly you'd want to go. Oh, it's awful. Awful. Anyway, we won't go into that in detail because some people are still having their overnight oats, hopefully with fresh blueberries this morning. So I go downstairs and make my tea, get my stuff out the fridge, and it's all ready. Then I go and unlock the front door and have a quick peek outside. It's a beautiful day out there, actually. Look. One moment, please. There we are. Look at this. Look at, oh, you bit. That keeps falling down, that camera for some reason. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful day out there. The sun has got its hat on. Hip, 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 hooray! Sunny. Yesterday my life was filled with rain. Yes. So I get up and do my thing. Then I go into the living room with my tray of stuff, and I start watching BBC Business Live, which I quite like, that Business Live, depending on who's presenting. You got that very strange woman from America. She comes on. Can't think of her name. Darkish, mixed race appearance, darkish skin, mixed race as in Asian white, I would say. Asian and white rather than black and white. And she comes, she never looks very happy, dear. She gets a bit fake. A bit fake, that one. So I watched that, and then I come upstairs and I start getting ready to talk to you. But I had this morning my overnight oats with frozen blueberries. No. And it doesn't work. No, it doesn't. It's completely different. Okay, it still tastes of blueberries and that, but no. So I would advise anyone who makes overnight oats, don't go with the frozen blue. Oh, maybe you do. It was my sister that suggested it to me, actually, my sister. Now, for her, she likes it. So maybe you'll like it. I don't. I'll go back to the fresh ones, I think. It was only because I didn't have any left, so I shall go and get some more fresh blueberries this morning. Because we're going out today. Now, this was a very, very last-minute thing. Last night I was at work doing the quiz of the week at the King's Head Theatre Bar. Nice little quiz last night. Wasn't a massive amount of teams. We only had 4 teams last night, but we had a good time. And someone won a £30 bar tab. Someone won a bottle of wine. Someone won a bag of crisps. 2 girls from Denmark. They won the bag of crisps. Oh, dear. I think lowest score of all time, actually. I hope they don't watch this programme. 11.5 out of 50. But you don't take the mick. You don't take the mick out of people, dear. 11.5 points, dear, out of 50. Oh, blimey, that was terrible, wasn't it? Anyway, so we did the quiz last night. That was all well and good. And then I came home, and where was I going with that one? Why did I start talking about the quiz? Oh yes, and while one of the rounds I do during the quiz is the picture round, and I don't think I've got one here actually, have I? Let's have a look. No, I haven't got one here, and it's just a sheet of paper with 360 with 12 pictures on it and 20 questions relating to the pictures, and we hand those out to the people in the pub. Incidentally, I am still looking for a quiz night. Tuesday, Thursday, either of those days. If anyone knows anywhere that might want me to come and do a quiz night, I'm looking for one on a Tuesday or Thursday because I would like to do another quiz night during the week. So I hand these out and then people work through them in their own time. I shut up then and put a bit of music on. During that period, I kind of walk around and talk to people, or I might talk to the staff. We've got a nice manager there. His name's Barry. He's a great laugh. Great laugh, Barry, and we get on like that. So I talk to them, and I do some stuff on my computer as well. And I suddenly thought, I wonder if they do afternoon tea at the Richmond Hill Hotel. So I looked it up quickly, and sure enough, they do it. Cheap as well. Nowhere near what you pay in Harrods or London. When you go to Harrods, I'm going to tell you now, when you go to Harrods for afternoon tea, I think it's about 70 quid. 75, 80 quid, something like that. Depends whether you have the glass of champagne as well. Richmond Hill Hotel, $24.95. Now that's very reasonable. So I went online. I thought, I wonder if there's any tables booked, and I put yes. Put tables on there. So I've booked two seats for afternoon tea this afternoon at 3:00 at the Richmond Hill Hotel, which is a beautiful. I don't know what it's like inside, but it looks nice outside, and it overlooks the River Thames. And it's right next to Richmond Park, and it's in a beautiful position there. It really is. So that's where we're going at 3:00 this afternoon for a nice afternoon tea, me and my mate. I'm very much looking forward to that as well. So that's, and I'm wondering if they have any of those parties there that have been going on at the Dorchester Hotel. Because clearly, I've been going to the wrong places for these afternoon teas. If you go to the Dorchester Hotel, according to the news reports, they have parties and you can go and get touched up. And I think I would like to volunteer for one of those people that gets touched up at the Dorchester Hotel. Yes, I mean, it's not for everyone. There's plenty of them on the front page of the newspapers this morning, moaning that they're getting touched up and propositioned and all that. Well, I'm all for that, dear. I'm going to go and put a little French maid's outfit on and seek out these exciting parties for very rich men. And I'm going to go down there and hopefully something will happen to me. Because it's been a long time. I've got to try everything. I said the other day, I've been to all these other countries, nothing happens. I go to nightclubs, when I go out to the supermarket, Waitrose, don't get brushed past or anything. I'm going to the wrong places. The Dorchester Hotel is the place to be if you want to get some. And that's it. So clearly, we've been going to the wrong places. The Dorchester. Anyone want to come to the Dorchester Hotel for afternoon tea? If I advertise that on this show now, I bet there'd be 200 of you all wanting to come down there. Girls and boys. Yes, you would. Don't give me all that. Huh? Who's coming to the Dorchester Hotel for the next touch-up party? Oh, yeah. What music would it be? I wonder what music it would be. I wanna touch your body. La da 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 da. I love it. Well, do you think I'll have to wear women's clothes or a French maid's outfit, or shall I just go on my own and hope for the best? A lot of people are into grey tracksuits, aren't they, apparently? If I put one of those on and go to the Dorchester Hotel parties, will it happen there for me? Coworth Park, where me and my mate go often for afternoon tea, that's part of the Dorchester group. Did you know that? Come on, let's take some names. Right, I've got my pen handy here. Right? Let's see. If you want to come to the Dorchester Hotel, let's have your names now. All you've got to do is, I want to come, please. So let's have a look who's coming. Right, over to your messages. A very good morning to you. If you're new to the show, welcome along. I hope you enjoy a little bit of fun every morning that we have. Good morning to Luke Bickers. Where have you been, Luke? Can't get up in the morning, can you? Terrible. You need to set your alarm, dear. Come on, Luke. Up you get in the morning. Good morning to Paul Mosley. Morning, Paul. Hope you're well. Paul says, to be fair, I don't think I get 11 and a half out of 50 in a Norwegian pub quiz. Bless them. They were lovely girls as well, actually, both from Denmark. 11 and a half, that's got to be the worst score ever. Paul said they should ban the Chippendales there. It needs to be equally all those women groping men. Well, I'm up for grope. I'm up for grope. I mean, what I don't understand is why they all start moaning. No one dragged you kicking and screaming there, did they? You had to choose to either go to the party or go and work there. You have to choose whether you want to work there or not, don't you? Eh? Moan, 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 moan. Just don't go. Go somewhere else if you don't like it. I want to go. There's a lot of us want to go. Not just blokes. Girls want to go as well and have a little bit of a touch and a feel now and again. How are we ever supposed to get with anyone else? Who's got a partner now and their opening thing was something rude coming out of their mouth or a quick touch somewhere? Come on. There's got to be a few of you out there. You know. I mean, I've had a couple of partners before, you know. Usually lasts only a few hours, unfortunately. But, you know, where the opening line is, all right, Chris, slap on the arse. Yes, please. Moan, 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 don't they? Let's say hello to the early people as well on Facebook. Good morning to Adam the Plumber, Andy Baker, Danny Davies. Good morning, Danny. Are you off today, darling? Have you been moved back onto the afternoon rota or what? What's going on there with your radio work? Good morning to non-Irish Mary from Ireland. Good morning, Mary. John True's there. Good morning, John. Hayley's there. Morning, Hayley, who says good luck to George. Congratulations, George, on this little swimming. My great nephew, George, 5 years old, can now swim from one side of the pool to the other. Oh, yes. Good morning to Richard Leedham in Australia. Andy says, nice to have your oats in the morning. It certainly is. Overnight oats is the way to go. It's really nice they are in the morning. Hello to Merlin. Good morning, Merlin. Kevin Bell's there, who says, I never switch on. I never feel good when I wake up, and it usually takes me an hour before I'm halfway normal. Oh, no. I'm straight out of that bed. No mucking around. The day is there to be sorted out. Can't be laying in bed all day. And who has those duvet days? What's that about? What a waste of a life, where they get up in the morning and they go downstairs with the duvet, and the entire day until bedtime they lay on the settee under the duvet. What a dreadful waste of a life. It really is. Merlin says, I'm just constantly alert, even when asleep. Seem to wake up every 3 hours. Oh, you're like a cat, Merlin. You're a bit like a cat. A burglar would never be able to get into your house, would they? You know, no, like that. And do you hiss as well? If you don't like someone, Merlin, do you hiss at them? As my cat impression. My mate Ron says his cat hissed at him the other day. He's got 2 long-haired ginger cats. They're not really friendly. You know, they will let you stroke them, but don't try and pick them up. They hate it. They hate it. Anyway, he was brushing one the other day, and he said he thinks the air from the hiss was coming directly from his bowels because it stunk. Oh, gosh. Good morning to Sean Hanson. Good morning, Sean. Where have you been? He says it's far better to wake up naturally than have a rude awakening by an alarm clock or television. Well, Sean, I wouldn't consider myself... Perhaps you can set your telly to switch on to my show. That would be nice for you, Sean, wouldn't it? My dulcet tones easing you gently into the day. Is that quite nice? Oh, gosh. Kevin says, you and Ronnie should make it official. You guys are an item. Kevin, we are not an item. We were about 27 years ago for about a year. We were an item. No way. I don't fancy him remotely. I'm afraid I do not fancy my best mate remotely. And I'm sure he would say the same. We are not an item. We probably hate each other. It's just, you know how you're with someone for a length of time, and then it's difficult to detach. Yeah? You sort of get it like that? It's difficult to detach because you know so much about each other. And that's why we still talk, and he's a mate. There's absolutely no way I would ever get back with my... I don't fancy him. Too old. 44 is far too old for me, dear. Far too old. And he's not manly enough. Are you manly enough, Kevin? Dear. Sean says there's nothing exciting about being touched by that Dorchester lot. Well, I haven't seen photos of them, John. Have you got any photos of them, Sean? Is any of them nice? Merlin says, go to the Royal Variety Charity after show dinner party. Plenty of touching there. Is there really? I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to make a note of that one as well. Thank you, Merlin. Danny Davies, go to Clapham Common. No, nope. Get muddy feet. Katy Rose is going to come with it. Okay, Katy, you're on for a date there, Katy. Wear your best stuff, darling. Put your slap on. Me and you can go and get touched together at the Dorchester. Adam says, I'd like to come with Royston. Adam, no, I'm sorry, Adam. No partners. We can't have people turning up with their other halves. That's just wrong. Swingers parties and all that business. What's all going on there? God's sake, why would you want a swingers party? Nigel Harris. Oh, thank you. Nigel has voted for me in the Boys Awards. Yes, they've got these Boys Awards things. I don't know how you would find those. Boys.co.uk awards. And there's like all things for voting for. I'm on one of those as a DJ. Could you vote for me, please? I'd like to whisk that award out from all those young whippersnapper DJs. Boys Awards. I'll look it up for tomorrow's show and I'll remind you what it is there. And you can vote for anything, but make sure when it comes to the DJ bit, you put a little dot in my name. Can you do that for me? Boys.co.uk, look for awards or something like that. Oh, Danny is back on Drive. Are you really? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, you'll probably be better off on there anyway. Don't have to get up early now, do you, Danny? Oh, that must have done you in, getting up that early in the morning. Kevin says he's very masculine. All right, okay. If you say so, Kev. You know, it's usually those that come on and say they're masculine that are a bit, oh, hello, how are you? I reckon you're a bit like that, Kevin, yes? Katy has decided, yes, we're going. It's just me and Katy then, is it? It's only me and Katy going to the Dorchester. No one else want to come? Sounds like fun to me. Huh? It sounds like an awful lot of fun to me if you want to come. Yes, please, date Katy. So me and Katy have got a date there. We're going to the Dorchester to get touched. Thank you. Paul says, I can't tell you what I first said to the wife when I first met her. I've paid for it 15 years now. You would have been better go to murder someone. It's a lot less in prison than 15 years now for a murder or two. Good. All right. So, as I say, we are going to... Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cough. To the Richmond Hill Hotel today, which is quite near Richmond Park. So we might have a little drive around or a walk around Richmond Park, which is just a beautiful place. It's situated in the middle of sort of Richmond. So Richmond, you've got Roehampton. Over that side, you've got Richmond, Mortlake, Sheen. It's kind of in the middle of it all. And it's a beautiful place. And when I say Richmond Park... parks are very different, you know, how they are. There's no swings. There's nothing for, like, swings and children's bits and pieces like that. It's not a mowed lawn. It's full of deer. It's full of deer. And you can just walk around it, and it's so nice. And I used to go round Richmond Park as a child. I used to jump on my bike where we lived in Roehampton, southwest London. Me, sometimes on my own or with my friend Peter Watts. Who also had a bike. He had a better bike than me. I had a Pooch picnic bike, which is a bit like one of those fold-up ones, you know, with the small wheels. Except it didn't fold up. It didn't have the fold-up bit in the middle, like a Brompton bike, like a Brompton. It was a Pooch picnic. And he had a proper racer. And we used to go down Richmond Park, cycled right the way around Richmond Park. and next to it was Power Park. It was just such a nice day out, and it'd be nice this afternoon. We'll probably get there too early, so we'll go around Richmond Park, maybe have a little look over the over Richmond Hill itself, and I'll take some video today because it really is a lovely, lovely area, Richmond Hill. Very, very expensive. Now, it also happens to be one of the areas that I used to do telephone repairs. I used to work for British Telecom as first of all, as an operator, and then as a telephone engineer, and I had my little yellow van, and I used to go out and repair phone. It was a great job. That was a blooming real great job. I really enjoyed it. Jumping in that van. I wasn't, unfortunately, I wasn't very technical. So sometimes I couldn't fix the phones. And I had to call someone out to help me. I was all right with your basic telephone plug and socket type thing. There were no plug and sockets when I started doing it. All the phones were wired in. But there were particular setups like Plan 1A or Plan 2A, which involved what I thought, I don't now, I can probably do it now, that's the funny thing about it. But it involved like a lot of wires in little boxes and things like that. And I found that quite complicated. But the basic stuff, I could do that all right. And it was just great going around people's houses, knocking, good morning, telephone engineer. And generally, they were always, almost 95%, 99% of the time, they were really pleased to see you. And the door would open and you'd go in and you had the phones over there. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful job. And all sorts of weather, of course. I think the winters were a lot colder then. We're going back here to the early 80s. And, you know, you after climb, because I used to climb up telegraph poles. Used to climb up there. What you do is you put your ladder on there. You put a bit of rope around it so it didn't fly backwards when you started climbing up it. And you climb up here and then onto the pole. And then from that point, the pole would have steps. And you'd put your belt round. You'd put this safety belt round and clip it there. And then you'd literally go up a step, move the belt up. Go up another step, move the belt up. So you see, if you slipped back, the belt would stop you. And these belts were very strong. You were supposed to check the belt every single time for small tears or anything like that. And the slightest thing wrong, you just take it into the British Telecom stores and they give you a brand new belt. No questions asked. It wouldn't be, how did you damage that? Or, oh, that don't look very good. Why weren't you careful? There wouldn't be any of that business. Nope, they just give you a new belt and that would be the end of it. Although I don't think I ever changed it. After 2 years, except after 2 years, you had, I think it was 2 years, you had to change it anyway. You were forced to change it. So I used to climb up the telegraph pole, and once you were at the top, you literally let go of the pole and leant back. And this belt would take all your weight. You'd be leaning back. Of course, I was, what was I there at that age? I was about 25 at that point. And we worked with, I worked with a great lot of boys and men. Really great people who would cover your back, so to speak. You know, if the management was out somewhere, you know, we'd be covering each other's back. Where was Chris? Oh, he was just down the hole over there. Well, actually, you might have been out shopping somewhere. You know, you managed to build up a little bit of time. There were some dodgy, horrible customers. I mean, but that's the same in all walks of life. The worst one, I think, was this woman. And me and my mate went in to put some new wires in her house. And she had this German Alsatian type dog. And this thing was doing its nut at me and my mate. And growling and barking. And I said to her, and she's in the corner with it. She's in the corner, not far away from us. Not far. We're bending over, stapling wires on her wall at the bottom. She's been moaning a bit. I said, I'm sorry, do you mind putting the dog away? No, I'm not doing that. You might rape me. You stupid old bag. You stupid, stupid old bag, I thought to myself. Anyway, she said, besides, it doesn't need two of you. If you want to go, let him do it. You know, and she was the worst one. Horrible, horrible woman. Anyway, we got the job done as quickly as possible and got out of there. But, you know, this dog was doing its nut. Why didn't you just lock it in the kitchen? couldn't lock it in the kitchen, could you? But apart from that, generally people were really nice. A lot of the elderly people, you'd get round there sometimes. There was nothing wrong with the phone. They just wanted a bit of a chat. But things were very different then, and it was a great job. Richmond was the area I did, and there were some beautiful houses there. Oh, my word. Houses that you and I could never afford. Flats that we could never afford. You look it up. Go on rightmove.co.uk or .com, whatever it is. Type in Richmond and type in properties less than £500,000. I bet you won't find a single thing. On Richmond Hill, some of these houses actually overlook the River Thames, and it is up a big hill, and it is the most stunning view. On the corner, as you go, you kind of come through Richmond, and then you go round if you're coming from... if you were coming from East Sheen on the Upper Richmond Road, you then turn left and go up a steep hill. At the top of the hill, on the right, is the Richmond Hill Hotel. On the left is Richmond Park, and across the road is what is the Star and Garter. Now, that used to be a place where they looked after disabled war type people, army, sailors, that sort of thing. And if you'd lost a limb or become disabled or something like that, you would go there and you would be looked after. The Royal Star and Garter, that was it. But that was sold a few years ago and converted into really posh flats. And my brother-in-law's brother, Dave, he used to have a job there. I'm not quite sure what he did there. But along with the job came a room. And it was only a small room, but the view from his window across the Thames, and it's beautiful. It's not like the Thames, when you stand by the Thames in London outside one of the pubs there and you look down and it's just like dirt and stuff that's been washed out of the Thames laying along the floor. Oh, no, this is green fields with the Thames meandering through it. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So it was a lovely, lovely job, that, working for British Telecom. Other areas I covered: Richmond, Ham, Mortlake, East Sheen. That was all my sort of queue. That was all my area. Lovely area. Before that, though, that was the area I worked in at the end. I moved, you see. I also worked Wandsworth, Putney, Roehampton, which was it was okay. Wandsworth was a bit of a pain in the arse, to get around in your car or your van because of all the traffic all the time. But in those days, of course, also back in the 80s, the British Telecom vans, we could literally stop anywhere. Yellow lines, double yellow lines. We never got tickets, or I don't think I ever got a ticket. Literally, you'd find out, you'd be looking, at the door numbers 15, 17, 19, 21. Oh, there it is, 21. And you'd pull over and get out the car and knock on the door and fix the phone. We weren't bothered by traffic wardens, except if, and I didn't ever do it, so I didn't experience this. If you stopped on the zigzag lines on zebra crossings, because that's just dangerous, zigzag lines. We never stopped on those. But anywhere else, we could literally stop and just get out the van. Some of these holes in the road, like in the middle of the road, holes like where loads of wires are. And I think there was an occasion where I literally stopped in the middle of a road. Because obviously, you want something in between the hole where you're going down and the traffic that's coming that way. So you would always protect yourself with the van. And climbing up the telegraph pole, that was great. It was a bit cold in the winter. Oh God, you'd have to chip the ice off the footways as you go up the pole, and you'd be up there, and your fingers would freeze as you're working the little wires in the black boxes at the top of the telegraph pole. But as I say, it was a great job, and I'm so pleased I did it. I kind of missed that job. You wouldn't have to buy anything. Like overcoats. British Telecom provided everything. They really looked after you. And presumably, I expect the job has changed to something the same as everything else. You see, some of these people who work for Virgin Media, they have to buy all their own stuff. They have to buy their own van and everything. British Telecom, they provided it all. From your gloves to the van. Everything. The thick overcoat, everything they provided. Really, really good company to work for they were at the time. Don't know what they were like now. But that's Richmond, and I'm very much looking forward to our afternoon tea today. Let's just go back to some of your messages. Bum, bum, bum. Merlin says, my relation started on a movie night when we both fell asleep and he never seemed to leave. Well, has he woken up yet? Has he woken up yet, Merlin? He's not dead, is he, by any chance? I'd give him a good poke, dear. Andy says, met my partner over CB radio. Ah, Andy, as did I. I was married once, and I met my partner, ex-wife now, of course. We met over CB. My handle on CB was Matchbox. Matchbox 14 for a copy. Come on. Yeah, Matchbox was on the air, and yeah, that's how I met my my ex-wife, actually. I had a CB. I bought a CB. No, my mate bought me a CB for my birthday about 4 or 5 years ago now, and I put the big aerial up on the side. Well, I didn't put it up. I got an aerial man to come and do it for me. He put it up proper, you know, with a bracket and all that, a GP half wave, you know, the great tall things. Put that up, plugged it in. I was so disappointed. There was hardly anyone on there. And those that were on there, it seemed to be a bit of a tight-knit community and you couldn't get in. You know what I mean? They were all talking to each other and I came on the side and everything went quiet. Well, which happened a few times, so I kind of left that alone. I took it all down again. Very disappointed, but CB was great. 1984, I think I'd be right in saying CB radio became very big over here. 27 megahertz. I had an AM one first before they became legal, and then I swapped over to an FM one, which they were just as good, really. You know, they were just different, really. Good morning to Tony Power this morning. Merlin says, when I worked in London, I used to go to Richmond Park when I had time off. I had a flat in Hampton Wick. Oh, it's just so nice, Richmond Park, isn't it? Richmond Park is so nice. It really is. Paul says that's a big 10-4. Come on, yeah. Breaker 1-4 for a copy. Except they don't do that now. When I set up that CB about 5 years ago, there was no one doing Breaker 1-4 for a copy. They were just kind of talking to each other. There was no one looking for someone to talk to. They were all just talking to people that they already knew, which I kind of defeats the objects a little bit. And it's the same on the Channel 19. Channel 14 and 19 used to be the two channels that you'd call something. There were 40 channels altogether on CB radio. 40 on a normal one. You could have CBs with 80 channels or more with sidebands and all this business. But basically, the UK FM CBs, when they first came out, they had 40 channels. And channel 14 would be used, and sometimes 19 would be used to call for someone to have a conversation with. Now, you didn't necessarily have to know that person. Okay, you would basically say, and you would pick up the microphone, 1-4 for a copy, which means, hello, I'm on channel 14. I'd like to talk to someone. That's it. It didn't matter who it was. And someone come back, hello, you say Matchbox. Hello, Matchbox. Do you want to take it up a channel? Yeah, where do you want to go? 27, please. And you'd both go to channel 27 and start talking, because you would keep the channel 14 open for other people to find people to have conversations with. There's probably an awful lot of relationships built on CB radio, I would guess. Isn't there? Yeah, I would imagine so. Tony says about Richmond, I used to visit there many moons ago. I used to work for a small dispatch company that was in Richmond Hill. Ah, really? It's so beautiful. The view was amazing, and yes, property now would be hugely expensive. Oh, huge. We couldn't afford anything there, Tony. I don't think so. Otherwise, unless, as promised at the beginning of the show, I start going to the Dorchester, to their parties and selling my services. Do you think I'd make anything? Oh, dear. Rod said 1980 CB became legal, October 1980. I also had AM. Yes, 80. Yeah, it would be 1980 because, of course, I was married in 83. So it would have been before that. Yeah, CB. And it was great, CB radio. You met all these weird and wonderful people, and there were some weird ones. There were there were some normal people, and there were weird people like me. But I was 19, 20 years old at the time. And I bought my first CB radio, was, as I say, an AM thing. And I think what had happened is somehow got hold of two child-type walkie-talkies, right? And me and my mate had one, and they were just, all they had was channel 14 on them, these child walkie-talkies. I talked to my mate, and then someone else started talking to us, and we didn't know who it was. And I remember his name was Master Blaster. Can you clear the 1-4, please? What do you mean, clear the 1-4? I didn't know what he was talking about. What do you mean, clear the 1-4? Well, this is the channel we use for... Well, this is the only channel I've got in here. And we started talking to him. Anyway, became friends with him. And he put me in contact with someone where I could buy a 40-channel walkie-talkie. And it was all very cloak and dagger, dear. Because this was illegal at the time. Totally illegal to own an AM/CB radio. And he said, I'll take you round there. So we went round to this bloke's house in Southfields, it was, in southwest London. Yeah, I've got to say, I was scared. There I was. I can't remember, it was 50 quid or something like that, which, of course, in the 80s was a fair amount of money, 50 quid. I got 50... No, it wasn't. It was 35 quid. It was 35 quid, and it was a Sharp, S-H-A-R... Just a minute. Let me see if it's in my cupboard. Stay there. I might have it in my cupboard here. 1 minute. No, well, I can't find the old one. I can't find the old one. It was a Sharp 40-channel CB radio, AM. And we went into this house, and I was really scared. It was quite dark. And then out come this bloke. Hello, you must be Chris, yeah. He said, yeah, I've got a nice little unit for you. And he come out with this box, and inside was a CB radio. A 40-channel CB. I was so excited. So excited. And out of the box, he plugged it in and tested it all out, plugged it into his aerial, which was in his hallway. It wasn't on the roof, because you couldn't put an aerial on the roof. It had to be hidden, because it was all illegal, you see. Anyway, got this thing home, set it all up, and I was able to talk to people on 40 channels that I'd never met before. It was so exciting. A Sharp 40 channel. Now you'll know what this is if you're into CB. Look at this. You know what that is? It's an SWR meter. Oh, yes, for the plugs and the bits and pieces. What would happen here, you see, is that you get your CB goes in there and the aerial goes in there, and you make adjustments to the aerial. You cut not on here. You don't make this is to test it. You see, this is to test it. You have to make adjustments to the aerial. Otherwise, the power that you're sending out from your CB can come back into your CB radio and blow it up. You have to make adjustments. Good morning to Ongenti Bitrange Buswa in Kenya. Wow. I don't think we've ever had a viewer in Kenya. Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to the show. Andy says we have something in common, bringing back many, many happy memories. Well, it was. Rod's handle was Stray Rat. Stray Rat is on the 1-4. Stray Rat, Stray Rat. Now, I've got here the CB that my mate bought me about 5 years ago. This is it. And it's a nice unit. It's very compact and it works very well. Except there was no one to talk to. I was so disappointed when I set this up. But I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll keep it. You never know. I might set it up again. I've got the bracket on the side of the wall. I can easily put that back up on the aerial. I didn't chuck it away. Here it is. Little Cobra radio. Right. I think I cut the plug off the end because I just wired it straight into the... I've got a transformer. Those transformers were always noisy, weren't they? The power packs. You know, instead of connecting it to a car back. Oh, is it 10:15? How long have I been talking for? 45 minutes. God blimey, I don't know where the time goes. So this is my little Cobra radio. It's not very seeable there, is it? Let's try it on there. Is it not bright enough? There you go. That's better, isn't it? There we are. My little Cobra radio. Okay. 40 channels. It's got a bit of dirt on there. Look at that. And it worked very well. Worked very well. Here's the box. Might be able to see it better on the box, actually. There it is. Look. Cobra. And I think that was about 60 quid. They're not dear now. You can buy them in Maplins as well, and you can buy them in Maplins as well, and all those sort of places. But I just wish there was a few more people on here. My mate said, the trouble is everyone's got a mobile phone now. No one wants to talk to anyone they don't want to know, or they don't know. You've only got to see that in the street. The trouble I have is getting people to say hello back when I say good morning to them now is unbelievable. Everyone used to talk to each other, didn't they? So that's CB radio, and I may set that up again. I think I got from here, I did get a copy in Maidenhead. So Bracknell to Maidenhead, that's a fair old route. That's about a 30-minute drive. So that's about as far as you go. On the sidebands, you used to be able to get out to other countries. Yeah. Is it Evan? I think Evan, who watches, he's not with us this morning, unfortunately. But he's an amateur radio enthusiast as well. I think it's Evan, who's an amateur radio enthusiast, and he's passed all his tests and all that. He's got amateur radio stuff, and he talks to people all over the world. Isn't that great, isn't it? I think it's a great thing. CB radio sadly died. It does still happen here in the UK. They got rid of the 927 megahertz or 937, something like that. So we just got left with the 27 megahertz, but very, very few people on there, unfortunately. Isn't that a big 10-4? Yes, it's a big 10-4. Rod says, SWS standing wave ratio. Thank you very much. Standing wave ratio. Good. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls, and then I must get moving. I've got to go swimming, and I haven't taken my 10 o'clock pills. Take my 10 o'clock pills, and then we're out to Richmond Hill for a nice afternoon tea. Happy birthday today to Royston. It doesn't say your name there, Royston. You're not on the internet, are you? You're not on Facebook, are you? Which I find surprising. But I was told by Adam to wish you happy birthday today. So happy birthday to Royston. Happy birthday today to Rod Brown, who we were just talking to a little while ago. Mr. CB himself, Rod Brown. Happy birthday. Did you say stray rat? Hang on a minute. Rod. Stray rat. Stray rat's birthday on the 10-4. Happy birthday, Rod. Oh, I'm so glad. And you didn't mention it, did you? You didn't say it was your birthday. Some people were on their birthday. There's nothing wrong with this. There's straight on there. Oh, it's my birthday today. You haven't even mentioned it. Yeah, your birthday does come up on here. Don't worry. Happy birthday, Rod. It's a pleasure to have you with us every morning for our little chats. Happy birthday today to John McGinley, who likes a little bit of a drink, don't you, John? Are you coming down the pub again soon? Come down for your birthday tomorrow. Central Station karaoke tomorrow night. If you're are you in Ireland? I can't remember if you're in Ireland. Why do I think you're in Ireland? Perhaps you are. I don't know. But if you're not, come down to Central Station for a little drink for your birthday tomorrow. Okay, karaoke tomorrow night, Friday night, Central Station, 8:30. Jackie Evans. Happy birthday, Jackie. We got a lot today. Happy birthday, Jackie. Katy Lawrence is today 37 years old, aren't you, Katy? Happy birthday, Katy. Ray Bersales is 33 years old today. Happy birthday, Ray. John Kempton. Hello, John. A nice round 30 years old today. Happy birthday, John. Chris Dannant. Doesn't say your birthday there, but I think it's something to do with Radio Caroline, aren't you? Caroline. Happy birthday. Do you do a show on there, Chris? I'm sure you probably do. Radio Caroline, of course, one of the great pirate stations of the year. I've been told many times that I would have done really well on pirate radio. That's the sort of thing. When I do a music and chat show every Monday, as you well know, on uploadradio.com, which is a bit like this, but with music as well. A lot less talk and more music. But you'll find that at uploadradio.com. Actually, you can listen at any time. Doesn't have to be at 10 o'clock on a Monday. Uploadradio.com. Click on Find Shows at the top there. Click on See. Look for the Chris Reardon Show. Not United Kingdom Talk, that's on there as well, but look for the Chris Reardon Show. Click on any one of those and you'll be able to listen to my music and chat show. Happy birthday, Chris. Steve Campbell. Hello, Steve. Lovely chap. Have you still got the dreadlocks? He used to come and sing at the karaoke. Happy birthday, Steve. 44 years old today. Russell Levine. Happy birthday, Russell. Lovely picture of you on a boat. Is it your boat? Carl, we got some rich people watch this programme and they got boats and everything, love. Boats. I saw this programme the other day. You can actually now buy a part share in a boat. I don't know how that works out. What if you both want to use it at the same time? That could be complicated, couldn't it? Happy birthday to Simon Garrett, 33 years old today. Happy birthday, Simon. And Nicolas Madou is 46 years old as well today. So happy birthday to you all, boys and girls. Here comes the song. Oh, just a moment. Just a moment. Emergency. Emergency. I've missed someone out. I thought I saw her. There she is. Bernadette Lake. I'm sorry, Bernie. How can I miss you out, darling? The lovely Bernadette Lake, who lives near my sister, today is 69 years, and she's such a lovely lady. Oh, she does lovely cakes. Oh, yes. We go up there at Christmas usually. She lives near my sister, and we go over to her house, and we have cakes and biscuits and tea, usually on sort of Christmas morning, just after church, just after the 10 o'clock mass from Woodhall Spa. I don't know what's the priest's name up there. I don't know what his name is. They haven't got an organ in that church either. It's just a machine. There's the priest. He just pushes a couple of buttons on, and the hymn starts playing, which I find a little bit sterile, to be honest, because it never makes a mistake. I think there's a lot to be said through making mistakes. I mean, look at me on here, for example. How many this entire show is a mistake, isn't it? But let's be honest with it. Anyway, let's sing the song, gang. Here we go. Sorry, Bernie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rod, John, Jackie, Katy, Ray, John, Bernadette, Chris, Steve, Russell, Simon and Nicolas. Happy birthday to you. See, I've got all the names in. Got all the names in there. There we are. All right, that's it for the show today. Any final messages coming through? Let's have a look. Louise. There's one from Louise there. Happy birthday to Mike. Okay, happy birthday, Mike, Louise. You don't think I'm going to fall for that one, do you? Come on, Louise. You've got to do better than that, my darling. You've got to be quicker than that. Oh, Louise, you're too slow to get me. You thought I was going to trip up on that one. No, I don't think so, my darling. That's been done several times before. Rod, are you 70 today, Rod? Are you really? Oh, wow. Okay. Happy birthday to you, Rod. Perhaps we should set up our CB. Would I get you from there? I don't know. Probably not. Oh, I can't be bothered to go down out there and set up all the aerial and all that business again. Never mind. Anyway, that's it then. I shall go and get on with my day's activities, and hopefully tomorrow, or maybe even later tonight, it depends when I do it, we'll have a little film from the Richmond Hill Hotel where I'm going this afternoon. Have a lovely, lovely day, and thanks very much for joining us on the show, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.